Hello students, how are you all? So I hope you all are well. So in today's video we are going to discuss some questions from Python Pandas part 1. So the first question is, write a pandas program to create and display a data frame from specified dictionary data which has the index levels. Means this one is the data frame and we have to create this data frame, but just see here that here we are having the row index like a b c d e f. Instead of 0 1 2 3 4 we are having the index level a b c d e f. Okay, so for this we have to use the attribute labels attribute. Okay, so the code will be, we will have here the first one. For first column name we will have the first key. We will create this data frame using dictionary. So here the first key of our dictionary will be name and values will be these values. Similarly the second key will be the score and values are this value. Here NaN means not a number, value has not been given, so for that we will write np.nan. Okay, and that's why we have imported the numpy module as well. So already we have discussed these things during the lecture video. In this video only I am giving you some practice questions. Okay, so similarly attempts column, then next one is qualify columns, but one more attribute we have used here, that one is labels, because here we want to give the row index as per our choice. So for that we must use the attribute labels. So when you will mention index is equal to labels, it will take these values. Let me skip this one so that it will be clear to you. If you will not mention here labels, then what will be the output See, the output is 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. But if in the question it is given that the index must be must have some specified value, then you have to use this index attribute. Okay, so let us execute this and see. Now the row index will take all the values from this particular identifier. Okay, so if you want to change the row index, then you have to use the index attribute. Okay, now the second question is, write a pandas program to get the first 3 rows of given data frame. So we have already discussed that if we want the first rows, then we have to use function head function, and if we want to use from the last rows, then we have to use tell function. So we have specified here number 3 because we want 3 rows only. If we will not specify any numbers, how many rows will be retrieved? It will give you 5 number of rows. Let us execute this one and see the output. Now see, here we will have 5 number of rows. So by default it will give you 5 number of rows. Head function will give you first 5 number of rows and tell function will give you last 5 number of rows. But here in question it is mentioned that we want first 3 rows of a given data frame. So for that we have to specify here the number of rows as well. Okay, the next question is, write a pandas program to select the name and score columns from the following data frame. So in the data frame we are having 4 columns, and from that existing data frame we want only name and score. So it is very easy. You have to give the name of your data frame, and then you have to mention which multiple columns you want to. Here we want multiple columns. If you want a single column, then suppose I want only name. Okay, so if you want only name, then in that case only one subscript value will be enough. Now see, it will give you name, but if we want multiple columns, then multiple values will be given in the form of list. So you have to use one more subscript for the list. Okay, then we will have name as well as score. So remember, if there is one column name, then only one subscript will be needed. If you are if you want to access multiple columns, then 2 square brackets should be there. Okay. The next question is, write pandas program to select name and score columns and rows 1, 3, 5, 6 from the following data frame. Now remember bete, we want which number of rows? We want the rows number 1, 3, 5, 6, and we want which column? We want name and score. Okay, so since here the row integer value of row index has been given, so what we will do bete, we will use here ILOC, and you know that the first subscript tells about the row index and the second subscript tells about the column index. So in the question it is mentioned that row number 1, 3, 5, 6 is needed, these rows are needed. Okay, so what about name and score? So we will see our data frame. So this we want which column bete? We want name and score. So here the name will have which column index? It will have 0, and score will have which column index bete? 1. So in case of column index we will write what? 0 and 1. Since we are writing here ILOC, then we must have to give integer location of both row index and column index. So row index is given in the question, so we will find out the column index. So column index for name is 0 and column index for score is 1. So here we are having the output. So 1, 3, 5, 6, here we are having 1, 3, 5 and 6. Okay, then the next question is, we have to display the rows where the number of attempts in the examination is greater than 2. So for that what we have to write bete? We have to write, we want to display our data frame. Okay, so to display the data frame we are using here df, and here what we want? We want only those rows where the number of attempts is greater than 2. So to access the column attempts, we know that we have to write df, then within subscript name of the column name, but here the condition is there. What is the condition? It must be greater than 2. So see, only these 3 rows are our result where attempts is greater than 2. Okay, now next question. Next question is to display that how many number of rows and how many number of columns are present in our existing data frame. So for that bete, we are having one len function, and I told you that when axis is equal to 0 it tells about the rows, and when axis is equal to 1 it tells about the column. So when we will write here axis bracket 0, then it will tell you how many number of rows we are having in the data frame, and when we have passed the subscript 1, it will tell us the number of columns. So in our existing data frame, number of rows 10 and number of columns 4. Okay, next, write a pandas program to select the rows where the score is missing. Already we have seen that, but in our data frame we don't have some of the values which are represented by NaN. So we have to display those rows where score is NaN. So it can be selected by a function is null. Null means we don't have any value there. And for which column we want? We want for the column score. So what we will do bete? First we will do that we have to display our data frame. For that we have written here df, but what we have to access? We have to access first our column score. So to access a particular single column we have to write df, then within square bracket we have to specify the name of the column. So here we have written name of the column score, and the name of the function is null. So it will check whether we are having there any NaN value or not. If any NaN value is there, it will display. So see, these 2 rows are there where we are having the NaN value for score. Okay, then the next question, we have to change the score for row D to 11.5. So bete, how we can do it? We are having LOC property, LOC attribute. So what we will do? We have to change the row D, and for that and column name is score, and we want to set their value equal to 11.5. So what we will do? We will check the position. Let us see here. Okay, we want which row bete? We want the row D and the column score. Okay, So what we will use LOC. The first value will tell about the row position and second value will tell about the column position. So D comma score equal to what we will write, 11.5. Now see here, LOC, first value specify the row position, second value specify the column position. So what we want the T row index and column score should be assigned the value 11.5. Now see here, the value has been changed to 11.5. Okay. So since this is two-dimensional, data frame is two-dimensional data structure, bete, if we want to access any particular single value, then we have to specify the both row position as well as column position. Okay, then only we will have access to that particular single value. So that's why we have mentioned here the row position as well as column position, and then whatever the new value you want to assign, you can give that value using assignment operator. This is equal to operator. Okay, the next, this one is very easy, bete. We want the sum of the total attempts done by the students. So name of the column, already we have discussed how to access the column, and then we may use the function sum to add all the number of attempts. So total number of attempts by all the students is 19. Similarly, if we want to find out the average of the score of the student, so name of the column is score, and to calculate the average or mean, we are having the function mean function. Okay, now here we want to add a new row to our existing data frame. So to add a new row to existing data frame, bete, here already it is given that the row index should be x. So what we will do, we will use the same LOC. Okay, LOC value is k, because here, bete, since we have used our row index, we have changed our row index, and the row index are ABCD like that. So here we are writing LOC, not ILOC. If it will be default index value like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, then in that case we can use here ILOC. So since here we don't have any integer row index, that's why we are using here LOC k, and that whatever the new value you want to give, you may give here. Okay, so now see here, the k row index has been added to our existing data frame. And then next question is, now delete that one. So in this particular practice session, bete, we have discussed how to insert a new row, as well as we will see how to delete that particular row. So to delete that particular row, we will use simply drop function, and then we will use the name of the row index. Now see here that k row, that the last row that we have added in the last question has been dropped, has been deleted. Okay, so drop function may be used to delete the row. Now next question, here sorting. This particular question is from the topic sorting. So what we have to do, we have to sort first by name in descending order, and then by score in ascending order. What does it mean, bete, when we are giving here two values? It means that if two name will be common, then the sorting will be done by score. Okay, so we are doing the sorting on name in descending order, and then score in ascending order. So this is the result. The second will not be applied here, since we don't have any two common names in our data frame. Okay, the next question is, here we want to change the name Anita to this one, Anita. Okay, so but this can be done in two different ways. In the just few questions before, I told you that if we want to access a particular value, then we have to use the row position as well as the column position. So here we want to change Anita to Anita. So for that, here replace function is there. What it will do, it will go for the name column, and where it will find the name Anita, it will be replaced by this spelling. Okay, so now see here, this Anita has been replaced by Anita. Okay, this can be done by this way also. Or suppose I want my previous Anita, this spelling I want. So again, what we can do, we can use that LOC function here. So name of the row position is A and the column position is name, and I want it to set as Anita. Now see, uh, in my data frame, again this spelling has come. Okay, so you may use replace function, or you may use this LOC function to change your value. Okay, now next question. Write a pandas program to delete the attempts column from the data frame. So earlier we have added a new row to our existing data frame, deleted the row from the existing data frame. Here we will discuss how to delete a particular column. So to delete a particular column, beta, we are having pop function. Just you have to use the pop function, and which column you want to delete, you have to pass the name of the particular column. Now see here, we don't have attempts column in our existing data frame. Okay, so this is all about deleting column. What if we want to add a new column to the existing data frame? Okay, that is also possible. So if you want to add a new column, just you have to write the name of the column and then all the values. So I have stored all the values in this list. So when you will print your data frame, the new column will be added to your data frame. So in this particular practice session, beta, we have discussed some important questions related to your Python Pandas 1. So I hope you have understood this much. I will continue this topic in the next coming video also. Then we will go for Python Pandas 2. So just keep practicing, beta. This data frame chapter, this Python Pandas is very important from your exam point of view. So if you have any doubt, you can ask me. Take care. Bye.